Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Neon 1000, my continuing exploration of this book given away with Neon magazine in the late 90s. Today we're going to be looking at number 836, Point Break, directed by Kathryn Bigelow, who also directed Near Dark, Blue Steel, and The Hurt Locker, which won awards. Frankly, I think it's rubbish. Controversial. So this comes under one of the two sports categories. So there's a section for individual sports, such as surfing, boxing, golf, etc. And then there's a team sports section for like American football, actual football, soccer. The film sees rookie FBI agent Keanu Reeves team up with old dog Gary Busey to take down a group of bank robbers called the ex-presidents, called such because they dress like former presidents of the United States. So it's like Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, etc. The ex-presidents target a bunch of banks in a short space of time, and then they disappear until the following year. Gary Busey's character theorises that the ex-presidents are actually surfers, who basically rob the banks to fuel their lifestyle, and they basically leave at the end of the summer, go where the waves are. Keanu Reeves then goes undercover, learns to surf, hangs out with a bunch of surfers, one of which is Bodie, played by Patrick Stewart. That would be hilarious. Bodie is played by Patrick Swayze, who at this point was probably most famous for Dirty Dancing and Ghost. Here he plays this Zen surfer and leader of the ex-presidents. But spoilers, obviously Keanu Reeves doesn't know that yet. The film also stars Laurie Petty from Tank Girl, Free Willy and A League of Their Own, and Scrubs star John C. McGinley. It also featured Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman Anthony Kiedis. The film was almost made 5 years earlier with Ridley Scott as the director. Obviously Reeves would have been much younger at this point, so wasn't in consideration. The people who were in consideration for his part though were Charlie Sheen, Matthew Broderick, Johnny Depp and Val Kilmer. The film was then developed by Kathryn Bigelow and her then husband James Cameron, who also served as one of the producers. When Keanu Reeves had signed on, the film was known as Johnny Utah, but by the time Patrick Swayze joined, it was known as Riders of the Storm, named after the Doors song of the same name. Basically, that it was changed because it wasn't obvious that it was largely about surfing, so then it was changed to Point Break. Point break is a surfing term where a wave breaks as it hits a point of land jutting out from the coastline. I had to read it from there because I've tried saying it out loud several times and it didn't work. There was a terrible remake made in, I believe, 2014, which missed the point entirely and everything that made the previous film cool. So it's still about a rookie FBI agent infiltrating a gang of robbers. This time they're extreme sports enthusiasts committing like high-tech crimes. So, no surfing, no iconic costumes as, ex-presidents, no charismatic Zen character like Patrick Swayze. The Bodie character in this one is you really struggle to see why the FBI agent character would actually struggle with his conscience, which Keanu Reeves' character did in Point Break. You're just like, well, just get the job done so we can all go home and maybe watch something else. There is, however, quite a cool piece of theatre called Point Break Live, where the film is recreated live on stage, but the Keanu Reeves character is played by a different audience member who has a brief audition at the beginning. The audience choose who's going to be the Keanu Reeves character, Johnny Utah, and then they read all their lines off cue cards, and the rest of the performers, obviously, they know what they're doing. It's similar to an idea I had for a TV show, based on something I saw on Facebook, which was who could play the worst Bond. And the top comment was Ron Funches, who is this really warm, sort of cuddly comedian, very likeable character, which got me thinking of this TV show idea called The Worst Bond. Every episode was like a Bond story, but Bond was played by a different celebrity. So Ron Funches could play the worst Bond, but they'd basically be playing themselves in that spot. So you could also have, you know, Stephen Fry or, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah, I thought it'd be good. Let me know in the comments below. Would you watch that? I'd watch that. I'd watch the out of that. Not gonna lie, I absolutely love this movie. For me, it is 5 stars all the way. It is iconic. I don't know how many times I've seen it over the years. I very much enjoyed watching it this time round. Yeah, it's got cool characters, cool settings. Made me always want to surf. I live in a place surrounded by coastline. I don't surf, but that made me want to surf when I was younger. It's also made me always want to do skydiving, despite being terrified of heights. It's a life-changing movie. I mean, it would be if I'd done either of those things, but I haven't. So on to the recommendations. If you like Point Break, why not try Speed? Keanu Reeves actioner about a bus that cannot go below 50 miles an hour or it will explode. Hilarity ensues. The Fast and the Furious, which is basically the exact same movie, but with street racing instead of surfing. And family. Or Blue Steel, the film Catherine Bigelow made right before this one, where rookie cop Jamie Lee Curtis is seen gunning down someone in a robbery, and this is witnessed by a psychopath who obsesses over her. Do you love Point Break? Of course you do. Let me know in the comments below. That's all I've got time for. So long, farewell.